Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please also like the episode and share if you feel so inclined once it's finished. Louisville, we're still waiting. This morning, the fences and the barricades and the dump trucks were all in place, everything that had begun yesterday. At 2 a.m. there was an email sent out by Sergeant Mattingly, one of the police officers that's charged in the murder of BREONNA Taylor. And the email basically was saying how sorry he was for what his fellow officers had to experience, and called the protesters thugs, and it's throwing gas onto a fire. It's totally inappropriate, and it might give a behind-the-scenes glimpse as to what the Louisville Police Department's all about. Time will tell. 2 p.m. there was an expected press conference that was going to announce the decision of the grand jury and whether to bring charges or not. And that announcement never came. I was planning on being live almost the entire day because I thought that announcement would come and we would track events as they unfold, as history reveals itself. And it revealed itself today to be a very peaceful day. There was a march, and it was well attended, and there was an event, there was an incident, if you will. A white man pulled a gun and was greatly outnumbered, and no shots were fired, and the white man left. A white man that was not part of the group, not one of the allies of the protesters, but an outside agitator. So, other than that, we're still waiting. Now, I've got to say, General Delta Django is coming on the program. He's going to be on live at 9 o'clock. First time we've ever had a live guest. I've got to work on the technology on my end to make sure I can make it happen, and I'm sure I can. Well, I'm not sure I can, but I certainly hope I can. And I'm really looking forward to it. He doesn't give many interviews, and I think it'll be a really interesting conversation. I'm gonna have some questions. I've got a few questions, not many, and for those that are members, you can get them. You can press the join button there and get a membership. After the video, press the join button and take a look and see if you want to become a member. There's 3 levels, and it doesn't change the program in any way, shape, or form. It's just a way to support the show and get some added perks. So, and I wasn't intending to say all that. What I was leading up to was Delta Django is going to be on Friday at 9, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about his relationship with Grandmaster Jay. And if I ask, I have no doubt he will not hesitate to say, hey, no, I'm not going to talk about that. And maybe not in those terms, but, and I'm going to respect that as I do with every guest. But Grandmaster Jay of the NFAC had some information today, and as far as I've been able to try to confirm, this is the only source of the information. Now, Grandmaster Jay and General Delta clashed, and I've said in previous episodes that I thought it was because they had different intentions. That Delta was a unmistakable warrior and is ready for action, and that Grandmaster Jay's a politician and uses power, and so I'm still standing on that, and I'm going to bring that up to General Delta and see if let him tell me how wrong I am, because this is a show about learning. But Grandmaster Jay has some information that I can't find any other source for. I'm going to play just a few seconds and give credit where credit's due, because as I always do when I play somebody's live, a few seconds of somebody's live stream, I always credit it until you go back to it. I'm going to play a few seconds from Grandmaster Jay's video on it was on YouTube, and he's getting censored on Instagram, and I've never tossed a comment out. I've never blocked anybody. I've never censored anything, and I'm not a big fan of censorship. So find him on Instagram at he's got like 2 or 3 channels, or here on YouTube, and watch the rest of this video if you're so inclined. And
what I have as we continue to wait. And I really hope what was sent to me is not what I think it is. So let me begin. First, and I'm not going to confirm this, I'm not going to deny it either, but I'm going to repeat it because it was sent to me by a reliable source. I'm not saying this is 100% true, but for some strange reason, why does it seem like it is? Black power to all the melanated brothers and sisters out there. I'm going to read you what he sent to me, and I'm not going to tell you who it is because it is someone on the inside. I told you I have a lot of connections. And I want y'all to hear what was sent to me. And let's hope that when the Attorney General steps up, that this is not what he's going to say. It says here, brother, I'm hearing that the grand jury is finding no probable cause for the felonies of involuntary manslaughter or wanton murder. They want to send the case back down to the local court system for a misdemeanor charge of discharging a weapon into an occupied dwelling. A misdemeanor charge. He gets probation, loses his law enforcement certificate, and the family gets $12.
Again, that's Grandmaster Jay. I'm sure most of you know who he is by now. If not, then there's your introduction to somebody that I think is going to be one of the most influential people in 2020. I've said that for months now. I also think General Delta Django is going to be one of the most important people in 2020 as well. So watch the rest of Grandmaster Jay's video if you're so inclined. But after hearing what he and we got to remember a couple of things here. He is a former politician and he knows how to play politics. And there's also a video of him talking with Kentucky officials. So it's this story has more credibility to me than if I just some random person on the internet said, "Hey, here's what I think." I tend to think he has a connection or two, and this might have been leaked. And quite frankly, it's a wise way for the Kentucky government to leak it because Grandmaster Jay says it, and it's going to filter out to most of the black community, because like him or not, what he says and what he does has an impact on the majority of the communities of people of color, in my opinion. And it's going to be the same way with Delta Django. And I say going to be because these two guys are really different people. And in my opinion, they look at things really differently. Grandmaster Jay uses formations as a show of power, always self-defense, and never as a source of provocation, never broken any law, never fired a shot in aggression. And, it's pretty impressive to get that many people in a group as many times as he has in such a short period. And you can't overlook that. Now, Delta. Delta's not going to show you his power. He's not going to tell you about his power. He's going to keep his power in check until it's time to unleash that power. And frankly, I have no doubt that's the situation. Again, he's going to be on Friday night, and if I'm full of shit, then hey, it's the American Doofus Show, okay? I'm full of shit every once in a while, not intentionally. So we'll find out. We're still waiting. All the eyes are still on BREONNA Taylor. And I hearken back to what Dave Lackford said last week. Dave told us last week, he said, be prepared that, here is the law, okay? There's one, justice is one thing, and the law is another. And here is the law, and be prepared that only one of the police officers may be charged, and if he's charged, it's going to be a lower ranking crime. And he'll get probation, and that'll probably be it. Well, it's not exactly word for word what Grandmaster Jay said, but Dave knows what he's talking about. And so now it comes down to we're still waiting, and what's the impact on Louisville? Well, the pressure continues to mount, the anxiety continues to grow, the tension, the pressure, and anticipation of the announcement coming out tomorrow because of all the blockades, because of all the preemptive measures already in place. Louisville police, nobody gets a day off. Everybody's mandatory 12-hour shifts. It's a whole bunch of overtime. It's a whole bunch of money. I hope when the announcement comes, it's peaceful. I hope that they scream and they yell and they cry and they rant and no one gets hurt. If it isn't peaceful, I understand. But I hope it is. I hope it is, because you need to pick your fights. And you need to pick fights you can win. And I love the people of Louisville. I've grown to love them over these months. And I don't want to see any of them hurt. And quite frankly, this isn't a fight you can win. Not against the Louisville police, the National Guard, the federal government. Not at this time. It's not a fight you can win. I understand you wanting to fight it. But pick your fights. Now, the impact on America, the decision's going to have an impact on America. Maybe even in the city you live in. Because it's going to be a reflection. It's an important decision. We're all waiting. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. Anything breaks, I'll be live.